What's up, guys? Welcome back to the XFL Newsroom One-On-One. I'm James Larson, host of the show, and today I had the privilege of talking to DC Defenders punter Hunter Niswander. It was a great interview, lots of fun. One thing I do want to point out, my internet was having tons of issues, so some audio, a little bit of video was off, but all the good content is there, so you might just have to deal with some audio glitches throughout the thing, which is a pain, but I blame it on my internet. Anyways, hope you guys enjoy this interview. Let's cue that intro. Is it working any better now?
Oh yeah. There we go. Okay. I
Okay,
think we
sweet.
found it.
There we go. Finally, yeah. My internet's been pretty bad recently. But sorry about that. Anyways, how are you doing?
I'm doing well, man. Thanks for having me.
Yeah, for sure. What have you been up to like the last few months ever since, the pandemic started and everything.
Yeah, obviously it's been kind of a crazy time for everyone, but I've just been training, trying to get better, staying ready for whatever's next. Who knows? So we'll see.
Right. Yeah, of course it's been just kind of bizarre really, everything that happened. What's it been like going from, being in the XFL and, halfway through the season and out of nowhere this hits, the pandemic happens. What's that been like kind of over the last few months?
It's definitely been something brand new. I mean, I don't think anyone saw this coming. And XFL was a lot of fun. We were doing pretty well, and it was great to be out there on the field again. And unfortunately, this global pandemic happened, and it is what it is. So you just gotta kind of roll with the punches. And like I said, just keep on working on getting better and controlling what you can control on a daily basis. Because I mean, it changes every day.
Right. Yeah, this thing has been so unpredictable. It's definitely been just as you said, no one saw it coming, that's for sure. Um when it comes to the XFL, what was that like? Like your experience with the league? How was it?
It was really cool. I mean, it was a legit league, and you could tell it was well run. It was organized. Like, I really didn't have any issues with it being a brand new startup. You would think there would be some struggles along the way, but honestly, I thought it was very smoothly run. I really enjoyed it. I loved our coaches. I loved our team. We had a great team, and it was a blast to be a part of.
Yeah, that's kind of like the main attitude that I've gotten from talking to other players and stuff. Like considering it was in its first year, everything seemed to be professionally run. The attitude is in the league was the XFL. It's not like the XFL was trying to compete with the NFL, but it was more on the level of we are still professional football. And we're going to give you the best football that we can give you. Is that like sort of the attitude that you felt just throughout the league?
Yeah, I mean, they definitely knew who they were. They knew, like you said, they knew they weren't the XFL or the NFL, but I mean, there was a lot of great talent there, and everyone on every team obviously was trying to make it to the next level. So I think they really took advantage of that and said, like, all right, this is a gritty league full of gritty guys who are trying to make a living, play football still, and trying to make it to that next level. And we're going to make it personal and relatable, and I think they did a really good job of that.
Yeah, that's kind of the as I said, what I've heard from pretty much all the players, people in the league, which is exciting because of course now the rock, Danny Garcia, Redbird Capital. Hopefully they can bring it back. What was your reaction to first the league shutting down and then getting sold to the Rock? What was that like for you?
Obviously, it's pretty devastating for the league and for all the guys involved, coaches, training staff. There's a lot of people involved in running each of those teams. So that was very tough. But then seeing The Rock buy it, I thought that was like the perfect candidate. You know, he had a great relation with Vince McMahon, obviously from the WWE. So it's kind of that clean transition. It's not someone that's not irrelevant to who the previous owner was. But at the same time, it's someone
Right.
who's completely different, who's going to be invested, who's had tons of success. Along with Danny Garcia, I guess they've had a relationship now, you know, for like over 20 years. So I think it's a perfect bond for them. And it's cool to have, you know, the first female sports owner. And along with The Rock, I think that's a great dynamic duo to try to, you know, jumpstart this thing. And hopefully they get it going soon, because I think there's a window if they can do it right. I think there's a pretty awesome window to get it going again.
Oh yeah, I totally agree with that. When I had seen that first post, when The Rock and Danny Garcia had bought it, like I thought it was a joke. I just thought it was one of those like troll posts or something. But then I was like, wow, this is actually for real. And I think it's just such an excellent step forward for the league, because when you look at it back in April and May, like that's it, that's sad. You know, the XFL 2.0, it tried, it did its best. COVID hit it. That's that. There goes another spring league. But now that it's coming back, as you said, yeah, I think that they probably have the best shot of anyone at bringing it back. Just from The Rock's. I mean, again, as you said, everything he does is successful. He's just someone that's always been into football, so I think that's a perfect fit there. And Danny Garcia, I mean, she runs so many different companies, and she's been so successful with that. So yeah, definitely a formula for success. A question I had for you when it comes to style of play. What did you like about that? And is there anything that you think that they should change, or should they keep it the same way that it was in 2020?
I really enjoyed most of the changes. I thought the kickoff rule was awesome. I think that's a great way to keep the kickoff in the game, but also making sure it's a safe play, and making sure it was an exciting play still. And I think the
Right.
XFL did a great job of thinking through that and executing it. I know the guys really enjoyed being on the kickoff team, and I can't say that's always the case in your
Right.
traditional kickoff format. So
Yeah.
I thought that was a blast. I guess one thing, just talking to other punters and specialists, would be the punt rule. How you couldn't leave, no one could leave until the ball was kicked.
Hmm.
I think it'd be cool to try to like innovate that in a different way, because it was kind of like everyone standing there and then you go. I see what they're trying to do with that, but I think there's a more creative way to, you know, get more action out of that play. So we'll see what they do with that. But overall, I was really pleased with everything that they put in play. And I think the fans really enjoyed it, which is really the most important thing.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah. The kickoff I thought was one of the best inventions in football of the modern era. Just the way, because like in the NFL, because of course there's, it's a dangerous sport, and it's a dangerous, especially the kickoffs could be a dangerous play with everyone running head on like that, which is why the NFL moved to kickoff to the 35, and most of them go out for touchbacks. So I think, which is so smart, because kickoffs are exciting. You want to see kickoffs. So the way that they did that was great. And maybe when it comes back, you should volunteer to be like one of the rules creators or something, help them out with a punt, come up with some ideas there or something.
Yeah, who knows?
So another question I had, what was your favorite experience from the league? Or I'm sure you have several. So what were some of your favorite
Yeah,
experiences?
my two favorite that come to mind were obviously from that opening game. Was really cool, being part of the opening kickoff, and then also part of the first points, getting to hold for Ty's kick. So I think that was pretty special. And then honestly, just like training camp, I think training camp is always a special time for teams to come together, and it's cool to just, be in this brand new league with all these brand new guys coming together, and really growing a bond and a true team. So that was
Right.
really fun.
Yeah, I know in training camp you had some tough competition there against Mr. 35. PFT commentator. What was that like?
Oh no, he's something else. No, it was a blast. It was cool to have him kind of get involved with us and
Hmm.
have him down there for a few days. He's hilarious, and yeah, it was good publicity at least.
Yeah, it's fun to see him try out, and I know he's gonna try again this year, so we'll see what happens. But yeah, that was cool.
Who
Um,
knows?
you mentioned the opening game. Yeah, what was that like? The experience just like going into that first game, like the first ever XFL 2.0 game. What was that like?
Well, I mean, I try to go into every game the same way, but obviously with a brand new league kicking off, you didn't know what it was gonna be like. Are we gonna be able to sell out? Or are there gonna be any fans there?
Hmm.
What's this kickoff actually gonna be like? And it ended up being amazing. I mean, we pretty much sold out the stadium, which was a blast, and it went pretty smoothly, I would say, for a first game of a brand new league. And it was a blast just celebrating that win in the locker room with the guys. And I also had a few former teammates on the Seattle team. So it was cool to play against some old college friends in that opening game. So it was a blast.
Right. Yeah, that it definitely seemed like the atmosphere there was just really, everyone was amped up. And you guys definitely had some of the best fans in the league. Those DC fans, they were rare to go, and they were into it. And of course, the legendary Beer Snake. Um, what was that
Oh,
like with the
may we
fans?
never forget. It was
Yeah.
awesome. Yeah, like you said, I thought they were some of the best fans in the XFL, and I think the XFL has some great fans, and I think they're going to continue to have, if they get it back going here, I think they're going to continue to grow and have a great fan base.
Hmm. I completely agree. Last week I had spoken to your buddy Ty Raza. I was like, I think the reason you guys won at every home game, it was the Beer Snake. I think there's something about that.
It had to be.
It channeled your
It's
team's
just the
energy.
good vibes.
Yeah. And as long as you guys have the Beer Snake and DC, you're gonna win every home game. I'm calling it now. A little bit of
Yeah.
a different
Plus, it was
question.
right
Oh,
behind the
sorry.
uprights for him. It was
Per-
right behind the uprights for him, so he had a perfect aiming point. So I think
yeah, it
that was
just
big.
all
That's
the
big for
energy just
him.
going straight to the snapper and his leg, and definitely have to bring that back.
Oh yeah.
Um, a little bit of a
Oh, for
different
sure.
question. A little bit of a different question here. What does the game of football mean to you?
Oh man, great question. Yeah, so the game of football, I was actually the first guy from my high school to get a Division I scholarship for football. So for
Oh
me,
wow.
it was life changing. Being able to go to college for free, especially university like Northwestern, um, it
Hmm.
really changed my life, and I see it as a platform to show what football can do for someone. Um, to also show that it's not your life. You be someone off the field, and it's
Hmm.
honestly it's a platform to shine a light and to make sure that you're helping out the next generation. And I think that's the most rewarding part is going out and helping the next kicker, the next punter who wants to play in the XFL or the NFL, and showing that it's possible.
I love that. Yeah, yeah. Football certainly is one of the best platforms out there to do stuff like that. So it's always great to see the players like making sure you're on and off the field is the same person and stuff like that. Um, Another question I have is what got you into the game of football to begin with?
Just growing up, my dad was a huge Buckeyes fan, Ohio State, and my mom was a huge Michigan State fan. So growing up
Oh,
Saturdays, we were always watching college football games, and obviously I had to take the middle road and go to Northwestern. I couldn't split that up. So um, yeah,
that's
it's
funny.
it's a meaningful thing in our family, and I grew up always watching it. I started playing at a young age. I started off playing quarterback and tight end and linebacker, but I actually focused on soccer. Decided to focus on soccer It wasn't until like a week before the first game my freshman year, I asked my parents, I was like, I haven't played football in a while, but my friends really want me to be a part of the team. You think I could try to be the kicker? They're like, yeah, why not? Go for it. You got a good leg. You do free
Right.
kicks in soccer, and why not? Go for it. And so literally like a week before, I just tried out. Hadn't really kicked before, and ended up starting varsity that week. So
Wow.
it's crazy
That's
how
so
things work.
yeah, that's so cool. Yeah, that must have been a lot of nerves surrounding that. Like just out of nowhere, within a week, you're starting for the high school team. That's crazy.
Oh
That's
yeah,
awesome.
I believe I slipped and fell on my first ever kickoff. So I opened up the game, first varsity game, and I slipped and fell, and I hit like a little roller down the field on my first kickoff.
Wow. Well, at least you can say that you've come a pretty far away from then. So
Definitely.
that wasn't it for you with kicking. So that's hilarious, man. A little bit of a fun question here. If the XFL was able to finish its season, who do you think would have won the championship?
Oh, defenders, no doubt. I mean, come on now.
Okay.
I think we were destined to play Houston, and that was going to be a fiery matchup, but I think we could have taken care of business.
Yeah, I've been asking that to the players, and they always stick with their own team, no matter what their record was. So I like that attitude. I really was looking forward to watching you guys play Houston, which is too bad that we didn't get to see that Week 7 matchup. That's when I was looking forward to. What was it like? Because you started the season 2-0, then you had those two tough road losses. You got the huge win against St. Louis. What was that kind of like, just going through ups and downs? Like how did your team handle that?
Yeah, so like you said, we started off really strong, and that was a blast. And then things got real with those losses, and we had to come together and regroup and decide which way our season was going to go. And ultimately, it was only one more game, but we came together, and I'm proud of how we responded after, like you said, those two road losses, and ultimately finished the season strong. And
Right.
that was fun to end it with St. Louis. That was kind of like the East Side finals. So
Yeah. Yeah, you at least were able to go out on top there, but it is too bad we didn't get to see the end of that season, because between you guys, St. Louis and New York, that was going to be a really tough match going into to see who would make the playoffs. That would have been exciting to watch. Um,
for sure.
I pretty much asked all the questions that I was going to ask. So, is there anything else that you want to add before we wrap things up?
No, that was fun. On your questions though, I will say the internet was going out a good bit. I don't know if that's going to show up on your end or not. I don't know if you noticed I was kind of
Hope
like
not.
delaying after you were done a few times. I was able to
Yeah,
like
I'm sorry
hear
about
you
that.
eventually, but I don't know how that works on your end. But I thought I'd
Well,
just give you
hopefully
a fair warning.
Zoom just decides to.
Gotcha. Yeah. Well, let me know, and if need be, I can hop back on here. It wasn't.
It'll work out. I mean, I'm seeing you totally fine, so that's the most important part. If I'm a little bit messed up, oh well. This show is about you, man. The Hunter Niswander show, or
Well, I appreciate
is
it.
it Niswander or Niswander? I always get that mixed up.
Nice wander.
Niswander. Okay. I've always wondered that. I heard a couple announcers pronounce it different ways, and I was like, which one is it? Niswander. Okay, cool. Well, it makes sense because you're a pretty nice
Yeah,
guy.
it
So,
happens all the time. Well, thank you.
well, man, I hope the rest of your day. Hope you have a good rest of your week, I guess. And I'll definitely keep an eye on you. Definitely deserve a spot in the XFL or NFL, whichever opportunity presents itself first. So keep grinding, keep balling, and I look forward to seeing you back out on the field someday.
Awesome. Well, I appreciate it, and thanks for having me on. And hey, you're a nice guy too.
Thanks, man. You have a great day.
All right, you too, man. Take it easy.
Peace.